Well, if his seat wasn't already hot, it's boiling now. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to Hall of Fame College Football and Coach Rick's show, the Sooner Post game, where we are talking about a new level of embarrassment tonight as Oklahoma takes one on the chin, 35-9 loss to Shane Beamer's South Carolina Gamecocks. We're gonna do this as a call-in show. If you'll look in there, it's pinned to the top. Don't call in just yet. I'm not taking them just yet. But Coach Ricks is gonna. I'm bringing Coach Ricks on now. What's up there, Coach Ricks? Welcome into the show, sir.
Oh shit!
right. Correct.
Man, where do we start?
Yeah, it's a tough. It's a tough way to go. You take a look at what we've been seeing, and it's just not a good day for Oklahoma fans. And I mean, you expect to go out and put something on the board, and you turn the ball over 3 times in the first 5 minutes of the game. You're down 21, and new quarterback comes in. We talked about that wouldn't be a good thing, but I mean, I think that's the one way I felt like that you could pull Hawkins out is if he had a performance like that. I'm not going to put it on Michael Hawkins though, because we got interceptions out of Jackson when he came in too. He threw 2 of them, so it is what it is. In the end, you have to wonder what is it that these guys are doing offensively. As at this point, I was just saying when we came on, if his seat wasn't hot, it's boiling now, and I think that you have to make a move here. Do you not?
Yeah, you're gonna have to make a move. You're gonna have to. Man, I hate saying this, man, but you're gonna have to change up the whole offensive side because it's affecting everything. It's affecting all 3 phases of the game, and I'm not going to sit here and make excuses. I think I'm on my 2nd bottle, and I really don't drink. But man, this game today, I just turned the TV off, man, and just said, "Oh well, let's get ready for next year." And I hate saying that because we still have a lot to fight for, but I don't know, Jason. I'm being honest, man. I really don't know. I've never seen OU perform like this, even before Lincoln got here, even before Heupel. I mean, damn. I've never seen the offense this bad to where they can't score points.
Yeah, neither have I. Yeah, I mean, this goes back to the 90s. And they've been talking about it a lot. You're seeing, Sooner Cowboys, you just love it, don't you? You get to be as negative as you want. And
I'm not gonna be negative, man, but I think
I was saying Sooner Cowboys is loving it because he can just be negative and say the most outlandish shit as he can, like we're gonna lose to Maine. Look, but the truth is that it's if anything was gonna like spur, look, here's the deal. You do have to look at it in terms of why is it that they're not able to put any points on the board? It's not that these guys are bad quarterbacks. I mean, I wouldn't put that on either one of them. There's a reason that Jackson Arnold came in as a 5-star. There's a reason that Michael Hawkins came in, and when he came in, he's hitting passes. He was able to run the football. The pressure that you were getting from Tennessee, which by the way, Tennessee just beat Alabama for the 2nd time in 3 years.
Yeah.
And they almost got him at their place last year.
With a backup quarterback.
So I mean, look, here's the thing. What you have to do is the play calling is putrid, but the other part of I mean, the little things, it's just, you trying new linemen out, you're trying this and that out. But the truth is, nothing's been coherent, and it hasn't been coherent since game 1.
True. No, you're not exaggerating. You're not making things up. You're spitting the facts. And that's sad to say, man, that normally you would try to progress week to week, get better and get better. We've always heard competitive depth. We always heard, we got this person next in line, blah, blah, blah. Well, those people that were next in line, they're not getting it done.
Right.
So do we really have to just sit here and say, you know what? All freshmen in. Let's get ready for next year. And I don't want to do that because these guys that came back, man, this is really painful, man, to sit here and say this, man, that BV just might be on the hot seat if he doesn't get this changed around.
Right. No, I mean, I think that he's listen, and the reason that I brought up the Alabama Tennessee, this is the second time in 3 years. He also Josh Heupel also came in to his former stomping grounds and beat them. He beat Oklahoma in their house. Now he's beating Alabama. For the second time in 3 years. He almost got them in Tuscaloosa a year ago. All that stuff. I mean, look, if you're not standing on business as Brent Venables and making a hire and announcing what you're doing, by the way, if something's going on behind the scenes, it doesn't need to be behind the scenes. You need to be showing the recruits that are currently committed to you, not to mention the players in your locker room, that you mean business. That we're going to get rid of this guy and we're going to do everything it is to their culture is it's all about the team. It's all about the players first. You're not making it about the players first. You're worried about what people are going to say about, I mean, listen, it can't get worse what people are saying about Seth and Joe John. It just can't.
No.
So what are we hiding here? If there is plans to do something, we should know. And it doesn't sound like that. And nobody wants to hear, we just got to get better. We just got to get better. Damn it, we know that.
You're speaking the obvious. Man, he's going to have to, I don't want to say grow a pair, but he's going to have to put his big boy jeans on. Mm-hmm. And he's going to have to get this done, man, because this is affecting the whole overall program to where, like you said, we might not have a class for next year because guys going to start opting out because they don't want to be around this dust fire. They don't want to be around this, man. This is the lowest OU's been since the John Blake era.
Thanks.
Period. I mean, just go ahead and just say, hey, go get somebody. I mean, I'm not above that. Just go get someone and say, you know what? I made a mistake. Thought that Seth would be, someone that we had on staff, but that wasn't the case. And then you just go get and any kind of hire is going to be better than what you got right now, but you really need to get your quarterbacks coach. These guys are pretty much lost because college is different than high school. High school, you just mainly go off talent. College and everything, man, you go off of film and you go off hard work and you go off discipline. They don't have that, man. I'm trying to find the words to say to make it sound better, but I can't find any words to make it sound better, man.
Well, I mean, you can't. No. If you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig, coach.
Yeah.
It's still a pig. And the thing is that all you got to do is look at the stats and look at what we see there. Look, if this was Alabama tonight and you turn over the ball 3 times to them, they probably have 45 at the half.
Oh, yeah.
Right? One of these high-powered offenses like that.
Get ready for next week.
Because, look, the defense is already starting to show that it's cracking a little bit. They still played well for most of the time. But right away, what happened with, Lenore Sellers, should have been sacked there. They over pursue, don't get him. He gets 30 yards on the first play after the turnover. Eventually, 5 plays, they're in the end zone. Next play, interception. Next play, interception. I mean, come on, man. At some point, you got to be able to go out there and look. I feel bad for Michael Hawkins because I think I was saying this to K. Chris earlier. It's like inside of 11 months, you've taken 2 supremely confident quarterbacks, supremely talented quarterbacks, and turned them into scared to make a play. They're scared to make a play. And this is, and it only took a couple of weeks with Hawkins because look at what he looked like in the Tennessee game. He came in, he was patient. He took off when he needed to. There wasn't enough of the playbook that he had to worry about. They What did they do? They dumbed it down a little bit, and he just went out there and played. Hit some quick, simple passes with pressure on him. He's staring down the barrel and making throws. Since then, you know, Jacquez Petaway's on a milk carton.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, there's no two ways around it. I mean, look, I don't know what it is that you can do other than it's clear that the marriage between these two different offensive schemes, and they're, you know, the people that think that it's similar, one is similar to the other, it's not. Okay, there's similarities, but the truth is the veer and shoot is the RPO based distant cousin of, you know, the air raid,
Yeah.
the leash air raid. I mean, he's up there, and you look up there, and when every time they showed Seth, he's got a big ass binder out there. Flip.
Yeah.
What about 5, 6, 7 plays, man? Disguise it a little bit.
Here's the thing, Jason, that I don't get is that you have footage on this team. You have footage on South Carolina. You mean tell me that you can't draw up something that, I mean, because I'm looking at it, we still didn't today run off the edge today. We still didn't do any of that. I mean, they were in a 4-2-5 the whole game. We were just talking about that a few days ago about what would you run on a 4-2-5. I would thought that somebody would say, "Hey, man, look, there's two guys out there, Hall of Fame and coaches talk, that's trying to tell you, give you guys the freaking blueprint on what to call
Well,
this
it ain't hard.
4-2-5."
It doesn't take a genius to know what to run.
It's a basic thing, Jason, and that's what I'm saying. Is it that the fact that Seth already knows he's gone, so he's like, "What the hell?"
I don't know.
If that's the case, get his ass up out of there, man. I mean, I always say the longer you let longer you let cancer stay in your body, the more it's gonna spread. You need to cut it out and patch it up and go to a different. He just doesn't have. There's no quarterback coach in there or on the staff that can say, "Hey, this is what you do. These are the progressions." You have no quarterback coach on the premises that can help these guys. Yeah, now sure, Kyler Murray's dad and his dad is away from the scene, but I'm talking about during game like situations. There is no quarterbacks coach or nobody that's played quarterback that's on that staff that can help these guys out. At least Lincoln did that, and we need to get a quarterback coach and an OC that are on the same page. I think there's too many damn people doing their own damn things, and it's making it a clusterfuck. Sorry.
Oh, don't be sorry. I've been saying fuck all afternoon.
Man, this is 2 weeks that we've went through this, man, and I'm like, when is the dam gonna break? When is the dam gonna break to where, you know what I want to see? I want to see Brent just go live it on the sideline. I just want to see him go live it on the sideline. You know, Bob used to throw his helmet, you know, his visor down or throw the headset down when something don't go right. Brent is not holding these guys accountable and getting in their ass the way he's supposed to, and it's making him look bad. Making him look bad. So he has to get I mean, if he doesn't get a new OC or quarterbacks coach before the end of the season, BV might not be here that much longer, man.
Yeah, the point I was about to make about Tennessee, you don't think that there's a large faction of people with money and power within the program that want that man in Norman tomorrow? That they've already given up on Brent Venables? Because I can guarantee you that's a fact.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not only is he an offensive guy, and they've been talking about that their offense hasn't been good, blah, 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 blah. Well, they put up 24 in that, but this is an offensive dude that can run the air raid and run out of the air raid, right? Not only that, but he puts defenses out on the field too.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that. Brent grabbed the iPad and went over to JA in the quarterback bench after one of the drives. BV ain't no damn quarterbacks coach. That's what I'm saying. We need
You
someone.
know what though? Here's the thing. We've been saying this. He needs to get involved.
Yeah,
He was saying in one of his press conferences in the week, it may have been the last one, where he was saying, look, I've been into meeting rooms a few times and this and that. A few times, park your ass in there,
yeah,
Brent. Park your ass in there. Because here's the thing. I don't care that you've been a defensive coach. I don't care about that. In my opinion, that means that you have insight into what any defense is doing. And as a head coach, you're no longer just a defensive coach anyway. I love it that he's just doing that.
Well, this is the thing. So the Cowboy man, like I said,
That's
you
not even a
you
fact,
you
Sooner Cowboys. That's
you
not a
going off
fact. At
you
least,
going off the
bro, at least at some point you should make sure that you mix in facts every once in a while, Sooner Cowboys. I get it that you're pissed off. We're all pissed off. But just saying everything negative that, I mean, you're even going to throw it off on this defense. It's just ain't elite. You know what? You wouldn't. Everybody in the country says that it's one of the best defenses in the country. Every major pundit out there will tell you it's one of the best defenses in the country. At some point,
you get
you
tired.
can't hold up against all that shit, all that pressure, everything. You start these are, and again, these are still kids. When they see that their offense is not making plays, not going to put up any points, they start taking chances, and that's what gets you burned.
Yep.
You don't stay in your proper lane. You don't have gap. What's the word I'm looking for here? You're not going to the places that you're supposed to. You don't have inside leverage like you should. You know what we saw from Mackey was talking about that. You know, it's something that you just realize that anytime if you played football at all, it's the first thing they would tell us safety is, okay, you got to keep inside leverage on this guy. Because if not, he's going to cross you up and you're done. You're done. Or he can beat you to the outside too. You've got to keep that inside leverage. They can't get around you if you keep inside leverage. No way.
Yeah.
So in the end, you've got to come up with something more than just it's not an elite defense. It is an elite defense.
Yeah. They held South Carolina in check the second half. I mean, it was just, but it was too late.
Yeah,
It was
listen,
too late. You can't be down 24 to what?
you can't. Yeah,
3,
24-0. It was 21-0 in about 5 minutes of
5
game
minutes.
time.
Yeah. So it was 24-3 halftime. So they scored what, 11 points the whole second half? Is that what they got? So we can sit here and pick apart a lot of things, but one thing I do know, and I hate saying this, well, I always say that, hate saying this, I went through this before, and the defense was terrible, and me being, I'm not gonna lie, I gave someone too much rope, and I
Yeah.
was like, well, they'll fix it, they'll fix it, they'll fix it, and it got to the point to where the AD came to me and said, you know, either he get it done or he's gone. So then I had to go to him and say, you know what? I want to help you. Let me help you. And sure, it changed around, but not enough to the point to where he keep his job. BB is going to have to go in there and say, these are the things that we're going to do from now on.
Real quick,
Yeah.
Texas down 10-0, and Ewers just threw another interception, and they're in territory. They're
Dude,
inside the
I told
35.
everybody that
Georgia's about
Texas
to
was not
roll
going to win
them
that
up.
game.
Georgia's
Texas
about
was
to
not going to
roll
win that
them up.
game because that's one thing Georgia don't do. Georgia show up for big games. Now, sorry games, they lackluster and they'll just do whatever. But they got a damn
And
good
Texas has
defense.
already forced their 2 turnovers as well, but they ain't got nothing out of it. They're about it's what is it? Second quarter, 10 minutes left. They're about get these guys started. Texas defense is really good, those two. I'll tell you that much.
If we get a real OC Jason,
Mm-hmm.
they said it today on was it Big Noon? They said if OU can find some offense, this team would be dangerous because they're winning with all the key players out. But then to go out there and do this shit show.
Read this. Sooner Cowboys, did you pay any attention to this stuff? Time of possession, that kind of stuff. Defense on the field, 35 damn minutes. Punter has more punts than we got points.
No.
And that was shit. That's with a bunch of damn turnovers too. I mean, Jackson had turnovers also.
Yeah.
Georgia about to score.
It just looks bad right now, and it's on a national stage. And I've heard people, oh well, that's what you get when you want to take more money. So stay in the Big 12 and let everyone leave you behind.
I think he got in. Either is at the one or he got in. Nope, they called it a touchdown. Yeah. 17.
Dude, it's about to get ugly. Every time that Georgia plays a good team, they beat the shit out of them. But then when they play a sorry team, they let them hang around and then barely win.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get it twisted. Georgia beat the brakes off TCU for a reason.
Right.
So, hey, they're going to have to bring in Arch. I guarantee before the game's over, if he keeps throwing interception, they're going to bring Arch in. I guarantee you.
I don't know why they haven't already. That's already 2 turnovers. They're down 17-0. You gonna wait?
How long will you wait?
Okay, realistically, does hiring a new OC turn around an offense that quick? Not being sarcastic. Okay.
No.
It could, though. Here's the thing. If it's just coherent, it's what did we just talk about? I think just bringing somebody in that's on the staff right now that isn't calling plays changes things. Because let's say, okay, so let's just say Bill Bedenbaugh, because everybody wants to pick on Big Bill. All right. He's providing the blocking schemes based on what it is that Seth Luttrell and Joe John Finley are telling him. Yeah. But it's this way. I know that everybody wants to do that, but he knows how to call plays. The last year that Lincoln was there, he was in Lincoln's face quite a bit about what they were and weren't doing. Right. Because he knew what he had to do in order to keep those guys upright. But a guy like Bill Bedenbaugh is going to do what we've been talking about. And let's get 5 or 6 plays and run the shit out of them until we can't get them wrong.
Yeah. Man.
And KJ goated. Perfect. This is a perfect thought of it. It starts the turnaround now instead of later. Yep. The quicker you get started, the other part is again, I'm going to say this one more time. The recruits are watching, not to mention the guys that are on your football team today.
Yeah.
Who would do what, Steve? What are we talking about? SC fan here. I think you guys will be all right. Injuries are really hurting you guys. SC is a decent field goal kicker away from being 6-1. Yeah, and a lot of turnovers as well. And I'm not hating on South Carolina, okay? I know I said some stuff on the last stream that kind of pissed off Stat Guy. I don't give a shit. Don't pound your chest at me whenever, we know what happens with it. Look, there's a lot of games that South Carolina should have won over the last few years that they haven't. The facts of the matter are, they handed you this game the first minute of the game. Yep. The first 2-3 minutes of the game for sure, because by the time it got to 3 minutes, you were up 14. They only scored 9. You have to, you can't, one thing we know for sure is that BB's not, you can't lose the turnover battle. You can't lose the turnover battle. But facts are facts. Lenorst isn't a great passer.
No.
So it's at some point, you guys that love the Lori, I'll just go ahead and toss you on here too, since you want to be, you're awfully mouthy lately. You guys want to toss it all on Big Bill or on every coach, and I'm telling you the scheme is bad.
It's not his fault.
But it's not.
Calls the damn plays.
And at some point, the players got to play, guys. The players got to play. Yeah. A lot of games they should have won over the past. Yeah, listen, you guys have had 1 10-win season in the last decade. And before that, it was a decade before that, too. I mean, come on, man. Let's just be real about what Mizzou is.
They should have won last week. South Carolina did against Alabama.
Or South Carolina. Yeah. I mean, look. Those guys, I mean, how many guys you got to get through? And the thing about Beamer getting mouthy at halftime and all that stuff, it's ridiculous to me that that's the one person. It's excusable that in year 3, BV is 1-9 against ranked teams staring at 1-14 unranked in year 3, looking at 5-7. Listen, yeah, I'm gonna tell you guys the one thing, the rank. A lot of those games came against ranked teams in the first season when they went 6-7. They played a bowl game against a really good Florida State team that year that was, what, 9-2? They came in 9-2 or 9-3, I mean. It just is what it is. And again, Sooner Cowboys with the non-facts. There's NFL talent on the offense. There is.
Yes.
There's a lot of NFL talent that's hurt on the offense and has been hurt. And I would tell you that if you want to throw BB under the bus, Big Bill under the bus about something, it's maybe did they get the wrong guys from the portal? Okay, yeah, maybe. It's not like you have a ton of choices. Right? Kyle talking smack. That Sooner Cowboys, what do you think? All right. I'm gonna say this one more time to you because I know you got a thick head and it's tough for you. I get it. Okay. Welcome to college football in 2024. This is how it is everywhere. This is how it is everywhere. Your best linemen are going to get a better deal. They're going to get a better deal. Kurt,
oh, yeah.
What's up, man?
I'm just trying to read some of this stuff, man, that don't make no sense.
Another sack on yours. They're busting their ass.
Let me cut that game on. Hold on right quick. Let me cut that game on.
Maybe freshmen have a chance. So you want to put in, so like these freshmen, you want to stick them in just because if the one thing we know is that if he doesn't think you're the best player, then you're not going to play. He doesn't play you based on, I mean, last year he played Garrett or he played Green. Why? Because he played Green because he was the better guard once they started losing it. All right. You guys can start calling in and start talking now. Take it right. And you're going to have to give me your name whenever you call in. So it'll say, give your name and I can let you in. If you don't use your video, there won't be any video. It's an actual phone number at the top. Sooner Legend, go ahead and you want to call in on or I'll send you that link. It's the same. I think it's the same damn link as I've been sending you guys, but hold on. It's coming to your Twitter there, Legend. But we need a caller. We need a caller in here. Somebody call in. Was it a mistake to go heavy NIL, just D-line and grab thus far Jags on the O-line? Well,
nah.
The guys that they got were highly rated. Rising Everett at right guard. Fabici Way was the one guy that's done pretty well so far. Hasn't struggled. EPO Akinkumi. Akinkumi's been hurt all damn year, and you want to put him in. You're not even thinking. Josh Isosa, yes. I'd say Isaiah Autry-Dent, he's not hurt. You know?
There we go.
You can hit whatever button you guys want to, but you better be hitting something. We've had hell, we've already almost had 700 viewers in here, and we've got 20 likes. Come on, fellas. Why would you think that it can help the offense some? Why? It didn't work for Jacoby Johnson.
Gonna end up getting him hurt, and then that's gonna affect the defense.
I
I don't
mean,
think a lot of people know how this goes. Um, Head coaches, yes, he has the pulse of the whole team. BB just going to have to do what he don't want to do, is fire a guy and get someone else in. But then it's going to
true.
take time for that person to come in here and implement his offense to make it work. Because now you got to trash a whole spring workout of stuff that you've practiced on and try to implement a whole new offense in what, 3 or 4 weeks?
Mm,
I mean, but do it, get a jump on before next year. So next year, man, we'll be up and running. It just needs a new voice in the room, a new voice, someone that has the basic know-how. Because you can call a good game, Jason. You can be offensive coordinator, but then you call the wrong plays at the wrong time,
right.
and it just don't make sense. So Lincoln was a real good person that could call that.
Well, he only had about 11 plays that he tried to call though. That was the thing. What's up there, legend?
What's
Welcome
up,
in.
bud?
What's going on, Coach and Jason? I
You ain't
need
drunk
to,
yet?
uh, dude. I've done went through a pint of Jack Daniels and on my second one.
I'm hydrated, so I'm drinking a lot of water.
Listen,
Well,
easy on the Jack Daniels and the talking. You go over crazy on the drinking now. Don't be doing. Don't
no,
be.
I'm just kidding you guys. I haven't drank a drop today. The toughest stuff I've drank today is a Pepsi. So,
No, I'm just fucking with you. Anyway.
but
Hell, I want to drink. I don't have anything here, or else I would be drinking.
can I bring up something on that first interception that Hawkins threw?
What's up?
Mhm.
They replayed they replayed it. Now, yeah, Michael Hawkins shouldn't have thrown the ball. But did you see that dunderhead Jacob Sexton come off that block with Barry Sharp?
Yep.
Yeah.
That I ain't gonna lie to you. It's lucky I had my hammer in my toolbox because it probably would have got flung in my big screen today.
Yeah, I feel you. Listen, I had to be on my P's and Q's because I was working in the newsroom and I was wanting to say fuck every other word. And I wasn't able to because I was in the newsroom, you know.
I mean, ever since I got to meet Coach Ricks, I've been really, really paying attention to stuff now. You know,
Mhm.
kind of like blocking schemes. And now I'm not good with specific play calling as you are, Coach, but I want to tell you something that I've seen today.
All right.
Our offensive line is not getting low in their pads and blocking at all.
No.
And there is no excuse for getting 9 sacks in a game.
No.
No excuse, no excuse whatsoever.
No. Well, like I was trying to tell Jason a few days ago, is that when we had the little Q&A, what you run on the 4-2-5, what you run on the 3-3-5, and the basic thing of what I had, and when we run a lot of mixtures of trips, twins, pistol, double wing, double pro, 12 personnel, and that's just high school. So
Yeah.
I teach my quarterbacks, and I'm hoping that someone will get it to them so they'll hear this from someone that's only coached at the high school level. You teach your quarterback to where I give him 5 plays. You have 5 plays that you can call whenever you want to, but it has to be something and everything that if it doesn't work, you got to answer for it. One of them was I formation, fake 44 dive, bootleg pass to tight end backside. Trips
Mhm.
left, bubble screen.
Yeah.
Trips left, fake 33 dive, backside bootleg to that tight end. And then the next one is a silent count, 38 sweep. Those are what you got.
Yeah.
And it's something that everybody knows. So if you can't find the plays or can't read the safety or can't read who's coming down, go to those 5 plays that you guys know.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't get it, man. I'm sitting here
Me,
and I'm
me,
being honest.
me either, Coach.
Man, look, I would love to just call plays for one game.
Yeah.
That'd be my dream. Then I can die peacefully. I would love to see that, man. Because
And everybody in the chat getting on Bill Bedenbow. Let me ask y'all this simple question. You got injuries on your offensive line, and you're using duct tape and baling wire for an offensive line. What do you do as an offensive line coach? What is your solution? Since you're wanting to be an O-line coach, what's y'all's solution?
I got one better for you.
Yeah.
Let's say you own a building.
Mm-hmm.
You lease the building from me.
Mm-hmm.
You be there and you're running your organization or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And shit start to fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
You don't blame the people who's there. You blame the people who owns the damn building.
Exactly.
Bill, he can sit there and say what he wants to run, but Seth
has to implement it.
Overrules him.
Mm-hmm.
Overrules him. And there have been times that Bill and Lincoln got into it because Lincoln kept running that bullshit, and Bill like run the damn ball. So it's not Coach B's fault, man. And
no.
All you guys keep saying fire him. Y'all don't know what the hell y'all talking about because it is hard to get an offensive line coach that know what the hell they doing. Man, please.
Hey, listen. I've been trying to say this for a while. I don't understand where you're coming from on that. And look, I would just tell you that there is no fix. Latrell will not be fired this year. I don't agree, Prince Harry. I think he's going to be fired. I think he has to be fired. I think if do you not realize how I was just saying this to Coach Ricks earlier. I don't know how many of you guys heard this, but Josh Heupel, in the same year that he came to Norman with his football team at Tennessee, a Tennessee program that hadn't won shit since Peyton Manning and Peyton didn't even win anything. But T. Martin wins the national championship. They haven't done shit since then.
Nope.
He's now beaten Oklahoma this year, and 2 of the last 3 years, he's beaten Alabama. And he almost got them a year ago, too, in Tuscaloosa. You think that if he sits on his hands for much longer, how much? I can tell you right now, there are people that have a lot of influence at Oklahoma, a lot of money invested in the program that want him today. You cannot sit on your hands if you're Brent Venables. You can't do it.
And Jason, you watching the game?
I am watching the game. There's Arch Manning in the game.
Manning's in.
He just got popped too.
He got hit.
he took a little pop. Well, that's a great that recruit really well. Which ones? I mean, look.
He's the only coach that if he gets fired tomorrow, he'll have the job Monday.
Any job that he wants. I mean,
and they'll give him a blank check.
Not an SEC school that wouldn't get rid of including Texas and Kyle Flood. There's not a SEC school that wouldn't get rid of their offensive line coach for Big Bill.
If Alabama wanted
you, can y'all hear me?
Think you know, you don't.
Hey, Jason, can you and Coach hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, my soundboard's going janky, so I had to turn it off.
That's all right. No, we can hear you fine. Hey, somebody call in. You see the number up there? You don't have to use your face. It's an actual phone call. The number's up there on the screen. It's at the top pinned to the top of the chat. You can call in straight from there.
Don't be scared, y'all.
Don't be scared. Talking all that smack from the comments, call in. Kyle DePuy, call in. Kerwin.
Face mask.
adjust the hat. Kanik has a lot of mistakes on defense from his high school tape. He showed he could run some. Think he'd be a physical blocker. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that. And I'm just saying that if this is what this is, the issue isn't necessarily all the players at this point. Now, the receiver issue is the receiver issue, but for the most part, you're getting pretty healthy on the old line. The fact of the matter is, and you've heard it from Gabe, that look, yeah, they don't move people. It's not the strongest line in the world. They weren't guys that were the best guys. But hold on, we got a call coming in. Call from. Welcome into the show. Say your name. Let us know who you are. It's who? Well, what's up? What you got to say, man? Talk to us. Yeah. Yeah, listen, I mean, you know, that's what we're talking about. I think it's pretty clear that this is a problem with the play calling and the overall scheme of things. I mean, instead of making it easier on a bunch of young guys, they've made it tougher. You know, and that's the problem that I feel like guys, if you're trying to get in right now, we can only answer one at a time. So while this is on, you just call right after this call's over with. But yeah, I would tell you that it should be easy to just go back to, if you're Seth Luttrell, I've had a hard time understanding why you don't just go back to what you know, right? Which is the air raid. Mm-hmm. Right. No, look, when we start talking about guys, if you're trying to call in right now, as long as we have the caller on right now, then you're going to have to wait because I can only take one call at a time. Okay. So yeah. Look, I mean, if you think about the best play callers that are running anything similar to this, they don't have a big notebook anymore, right? They don't have a big notebook. They got an index card. Mike Leach did that forever. It was 10, 11, 12 plays. Yeah, and you could give them a little different look, but it's always the same. You know, it's trying to exploit matchups. And that's the thing is and if you look at what Sark does, and he's one of the best play callers there is. If you guys haven't watched that film guy, that dude is unbelievable, right? He's got some really good stuff that he does on there. And he was talking about Sark in the Red River game from last year, where when they hit a play, he goes right back to it and he might run, you know, you're not going to, whoever Oklahoma would pick up at that point, he's going to hit the next guy, right? Or, you know, and they may even run a separate route depending on whatever they're doing there. But they're building off of one thing, and this is what they talk about stacking plays. This is when you hear Teddy talking about stacking up plays, you're stacking plays from it's like building a house. You have a foundation and you go off of that foundation, and everything goes off of what you're doing, but it always looks the same. You know, every play in you'll have 3 or 4 plays that look the exact same with your motion, with whatever. And then you'll have those same plays in a different lineup or whatever, a different set. It's just little things that you do. And that it's just like we always bitched about the jet sweep last year. Guess what? If Lebby would have just added vertical stuff to that shit,
yeah,
it would have worked well, because that's your base play that he loved to run. That was our best running play, apparently.
Yep.
According to him.
Hey, Coach.
And
Can you hear him now?
We don't seem that.
Okay. Go ahead. Keep on.
And, you know, one of my big takeaways, I guess, fans, that Latrell was going anywhere. He's not going anywhere this year. And at this point, you have to gradually start and see what you got on. What you say earlier, you know, you want to see it's off or half or something. I do too. I want to see some damn out of something.
Right. Hey man, I think that's what everybody's looking for. We're used to seeing him, you know, get after your ass. You know, that's what we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
And I want to see him be, you know, I said this earlier to you guys, you know, is focused as his and focused and detailed as his defensive game plans are. We got to see the same thing, man. We got to see the same thing there. Glad you guys can hear it now. We're still working on this, but yeah. Hey, thanks for calling us, man. We got a bunch of guys wanting to call in, so I appreciate you calling in, man. That was good. You're our first caller on the actual phone, so we appreciate that. And make sure you
good luck.
Call us again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, man. Have a good one. All right, guys. So 575-395-6642. If you want to be the next caller, we'll do that. But I mean, he brings up a good point. It's just what we've been talking about. If you don't make a move soon and you don't make it publicly, how do you hold on to this class?
Exactly.
You know, how do you hold on to this class?
Connecting.
Stat guy calling in. Here we go.
This ought to be good.
Welcome in, Stat guy.
To accept, press to send a voicemail.
Stat guy, welcome into the show, sir.
Hey, what's going on, fam?
Nada, man. Good to hear from you. Good to hear from you. Can you hear us good?
Yeah, we good. Got internet. Go back today, so David, I get some football for a change.
Well, good stuff, man. Good stuff. It sounds like it's a little off there too. Hold on. You got a lot deeper voice today, there, Stat.
Yeah, I've been sick out. That's why I'm sitting with you.
Oh, okay. I feel you. Yeah, man. Hey, so obviously, congratulations to your Gamecocks today. It came out and made some big plays early. It wasn't a game for very long, that's for sure.
Ted, my question for y'all follow OU football. Is that probably the worst start to a game?
Say that again. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
You got probably the worst 6 minutes.
Yeah, that I can remember in a long time. The worst 6 minutes that you can remember in a long time. Anyway, I mean, you go back to like the Texas game in 2021. I mean, it got ugly pretty quick there, but obviously once they pulled Spencer out and got Caleb Williams in, it kind of changed it. But you know, you can't go in and turn the ball over like that, man. I mean, you need to be Oklahoma when you're struggling as bad as either one of these teams. Both of them have been struggling offensively, but you can't be the one that goes in and gets a bunch of turnovers. You can't have it, you know. And I mean, what did they ended up with 9 sacks and 5? You got 5 turnovers off of Oklahoma. That's not conducive for winning football games. But
the only other question I had for y'all: Do you think Oklahoma needs to go to a simple offense and just win the game with their defense?
To like a pro style, is that what you're saying?
I mean, just run the ball times and punt it.
Hey, you know, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who've been talking about that you would have done a lot better, both in the last 2 games, if you would have just punted on every possession, you know, and not ended up with those turnovers. You know, you would have been in the Texas game for sure, because you have that field goal. You don't turn the ball. They're not doing anything until you just 3 and out. I don't know, man. And we got a great punter, so I mean, he definitely would have pinned you in bad field position. I get it. It's definitely better than giving it up in plus territory. But here's the thing, man. When you're Oklahoma, this is not okay. This is not okay. This is a bad scenario, and it just feels like right now. I was gonna ask you what you think about this. I mean, look, we just saw Alabama get beat by Tennessee and Josh Heupel for the second time in 3 years. And Josh Heupel came in. I'm just going to tell you as an OU guy, there's people that want him now. If you're Brent Venables, you don't have time to wait around on this. You need to announce what you're doing, and it needs to be we fired them both. Somebody else is going to call plays for the rest of the year. We're doing a national search. We're going to find the right guy. And whatever that entails.
Yep.
Because this is Oklahoma.
I think you've got to move at this point.
You got to what?
You said that he's got to make a move at this point. He's his quarterback. That didn't work. He's stuck in the.
Yeah. Yeah, I think not even just recruits. Number one, you have to show recruits that you're doing anything you can. And then not only that, you're recruiting your own team every year. We know that. The transfer portal this is where it's at.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's what I was going to say about the game. Because when you was offense turning the ball over, going 21, y'all's defense couldn't do anything to us. I mean, y'all stopped us, but we didn't put the ball in the wrong way because the game was.
Yeah, you don't have to get too fancy whenever you got 21 points in the first 4 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I mean, that's what I would say that, it worked out well for them. And look, I love that defense that you guys got. I mean, those dudes up front are just nasty. Right? They're nasty. So you get in a situation where you get behind the 8 ball and they can pin their ears back and come at you because they know that you have to throw to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, you haven't done anything to show that you'll throw it down the field. And now all of a sudden we're throwing interceptions. Hey man, it was once you get one dimensional though, either way it goes, you're one dimensional. You're screwed.
Yeah.
And that's all there is to it.
The other thing I noticed, and I don't know if it's something y'all left y'all's ends one-on-one defensive end for a while early in the game. Is that typical? I could say.
Is it typical to defense? Oh, tight ends going up against defense. That's a terrible blocking scheme. Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to chip them or whatever, to have them to chip or whatever, or help on a double team or something like that. But I mean, that's a mismatch. No matter if I don't give a shit who you are, what tight end you are. Nobody's gonna go up against those two guys.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them are unbelievable. Freshman, that freshman,
hey, man,
dog, brother. Oof.
I appreciate you taking time to hop in the comments. Watch the rest of the show. I just wanted to call it.
Appreciate you calling in, Stat. Good to talk to you, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, Stat guy. Prayers go out to y'all in South Carolina, dude.
Oh, Holden.
All right. Yeah, thanks for the Stat guy calling in. Yeah, we definitely, you guys, if once there's the call in, you just got to call back or whatever. We got Bishop Frank about to call us here as well. Oops.
Connecting.
Here he goes. Bishop Frank.
To accept, press 1.
Welcome into the show, Bishop Frank.
Good. What's good?
Hey, man. You already know. You already know. Ain't nothing good right now, except for Texas is getting beat. Oh, fumble. I don't know if his ball, I don't know if it was moving forward or not there. They're saying it was incomplete, I think. It's going to be close.
One thing I know.
That's fumble.
There's a whole lot of questions that need to be answered.
Whole lot of questions that need to be answered.
Absolutely.
Yep.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, it's
Hey, Bishop, what is one of the things you think that needs to be done?
One You have to be honest with your players, and the offense scheme is not working.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it was a fumble. It was a fumble.
Ooh.
Only that is that you get too many players in the waiting that's come on board that you might lose if you don't make the right decision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're not, I mean, that's what we've been saying is, you don't have time to sit there and like be coy and quiet about it. If you don't make this move, you're gonna lose players every time. You're already gonna lose. And it's like what Chris Mason said on Chris's show. It's like they're losing players already. They're gonna lose players, no doubt about it.
Oh yeah.
As long as that's going on, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just wild to me that in the end,
Here's what one thing I want to say.
mm-hmm.
One thing to have a actual scheme, offensive scheme that you run. Another thing is to have the kids be confident, trust the system to run.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That is exactly.
Understand, every team is going through injuries and whatnot, but the real good ones that develop bring in anybody and run the system.
No doubt. I mean, that's where I think was the biggest deal, though. I feel like I understand that. Look, the mandate for Brent Venables was to fix the defense. You assume that you're going to be able to keep it together. And listen, Jeff Lebby, for as much as we gave him a hard time about play calling at certain times, you got to say, I mean, they put up numbers. Top 15 the first year, with not a lot of guys still left in the cupboard. Basically, Marvin Mims was your one, and Eric Gray. Those were your guys that were getting stuff done, right?
Yep.
I would say that when it comes to, but then the next year, your top 3 scoring and total offense. So to me, you just look at it in terms of, if you had that at all right now with this defense, and this is where when Sooner Cowboys is coming in here saying this is not an elite defense, that's a silly thing to say. And we can sit here and argue about what's your definition of elite. I know everybody that talks about this defense talks about it's an elite defense, period, plain and simple. So to me, but there's no way that you can expect them to hold up and hold up and hold up and hold up. And you're not even giving them a chance to, because at some point they start feeling like they have to overdo it. They get out of their gap assignments and you can't, that's not conducive for success either. Brent Venables' defenses require you to do your job correctly.
Yep.
That's why he complains about the 6 inches or 3 inches or whatever it is. If he tells you it's here and you're 2 inches to one way or the other, that's why he's on that ass. But I'd love to see him be the same way with this offense,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, hey, both guys, just think about it. If you have big inside, outside, and you have a double team with your tight end tackle, do you want your tight end lead the tight end?
Say that one more time.
You know how Jason Spector left our tight end on their DN?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's no way. That's not the rule.
I think he's saying okay, Bishop, you talking about having a tight end block a defensive end?
Yeah.
Yeah, having him
The way you should do that, and most teams, and that was one of Bill's thing when he was with Lincoln, the GT counter or the GT pull, the guard and tackle pull. you would have those guys come and block the ends. But we're not doing that no more. We're trying to move a left tackle and then have a 230-pound tight end come over there and help chip block. We don't need you chip blocking. We need you hitting his ass and helping putting him in the damn dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What I'm saying is like the tackle should take over the team, and the tight end should be the relief foul.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it's supposed to be and the way it should be. Now, I don't know if they're teaching that, but they should, because that is very effective if you do it right.
Yeah.
But
I think he's also referring to that first play I talked about coming on to the show with Sexton and Sharp on that defensive end on that first interception. Because Jacob Sexton pulled off of it and left Barry Sharp to block a 300 and something pound defensive end.
Yeah, Sexton got his ass in trouble today.
Yeah.
he was, but listen, and I think that, look, when you start talking, we've been talking about a lot, Isaiah Autry-Dent, and you've got, your Akakumi's been hurt a lot. I don't know that you're going to see a lot of him this year. I just don't see that happening. He had a pretty good injury, so I don't know that happens. But EPL, you'll probably end up seeing some more of him. I definitely want to continue seeing more of these receivers and stuff. But I got to tell you, when some of these guys in the running back room, I'm not pleased with.
No.
So you can see BV calling Jeff Scott. Is that what to be the OC? He's a great recruiter and wide receiver coach, runs the read option system out of the pistol. Yeah, I could.
I like Trailer as the OC and Joe Brady as the game coordinator.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where they're at on that, but to me, I think there's a lot of really good, talented coordinators out there, head coaches, coordinators, whatever. I think a guy like GJ Kinney.
Yeah,
I like that.
So I like GJ Kinney a lot, man. And this is a guy that he's at Texas State right now, and he can be a head coach, but he could also it would move it up quickly. We talked a little bit about Oregon's offensive coordinator earlier. Love that guy. Scott Frost is another good. I don't know that he's a great fit, but I would tell you that I don't know that he isn't either. I don't know why you say he's a bad. He destroyed Nebraska as what? As the head coach.
He's a hell of an OC.
It's tough to go home. He's an offensive coordinator, though. Joe Brady is not gonna. It's not gonna happen. He's not a recruiter.
No, Joe Brady is just
as a passing game.
Yeah, but he doesn't like recruiting, though. You know what I mean? And you would have to.
But if you have Jeff Chase, then you have to be a recruiter.
Right. Well, I get what you're saying. But I would just say, I mean, it's.
I'll throw a name out there that I said earlier that someone said was crazy, but I don't think it's crazy when it comes to Oklahoma. What about someone like Eric Bieniemy?
I'm down.
You talking about a Super Bowl? Two or three-time Super Bowl OC?
Yeah, but he never called the plays from that. In that time, Andy's been calling the plays the whole time. He's
been around Andy Reid for a long time.
That's fair. That's a
and
fair.
I'm pretty sure you can.
But that's still a questionable whether he's really that guy or not. To me,
true. It just
could he be better than what we got?
Exactly.
Well, I would hope so. I mean, like I said this earlier, Norman could call plays better than what we got right now.
Man, look, hey, he ain't lying. I'm just saying.
I mean,
hey, Jason,
right
I stand corrected. Nico came back in the ball game.
Yeah,
and helped them win that game.
Yeah, and Mizzou, you had the same thing. You had their guy came in. I mean, he left, went to the hospital, came back and played. You know, Mizzou went in there and got it done.
Yeah.
Indiana's head coach, his name is man, it just left me. It's a hold on, let me find it here. Watch out, Norman. Watch out. You can't be in my lap. Get Kirk Cignetti is who it is. Cignetti. He's good. Tulsa sucks. Call up Kevin Wilson. Man, going backwards isn't really the way either, fellas.
No.
That's what got us in this problem right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You need somebody young that these guys are going to gel with, that can have the kids these days, they like the OCs a little bit hip, a little bit, more down to earth instead of the older guys. And we need somebody to come in with some fresh ideas and everything, man, that can do a spark for OU, because I think Zach Alley is doing a great job right now. So BB can finally let that go and focus on the other side. And I think that's what Kirby's first year problem was. He didn't have an OC, and he was trying to get that done on his side for the OC, and they struggled. But then he got it turned around the following year because he got that, was it Mike Bobo? That's who it is, Jason?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's been there, and he's been there ever since.
Well, he was good. He was good when he was there before, right? Bobo,
Yeah.
and then he left, and then they gave it back to, that's when they gave it to what's his name that's with the Baltimore now.
They gave me his name.
Oh man, I shouldn't remember that too. But I mean, he's a good coach, but I think Bobo still does a really good job too. I mean, it's kind of wild to think that he doesn't, but yeah. Texas A&M, 10-point win over Mississippi State. Mississippi State gave them hell for a while there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We got people talking. Ryman Lemon says, Shanahan, are you talking about the kid that's the offensive coordinator somewhere? Or you're not talking about Kyle Shanahan? He ain't leaving anywhere.
He ain't going nowhere.
Joe Craddock, current OC and quarterback coach at Tulane. He has had success every place he's been. Yeah, the head coach, I would say, I don't know that you would get him because I think he's next in line. I think that's kind of the same thing we were talking about with Oregon as well, is that as much as – here's what I would tell you about Oregon. If you're going to start looking in that direction, I think you go for Samples, because even though Samples hasn't been a coordinator yet, and that's where, you wonder what he's going to do. But, yeah, we were talking about Todd Monken, correct.
Yeah.
But I would say with Richard Samples, his dad is there at
Duncanville.
At Duncanville, correct. And so that's going to get you a lot of good recruits.
Yep.
And that's why, I mean, look, that's why he pretty much is naming his price right now. Look, I would definitely, and make no mistake, they're not going to spare any expense when they go and do this stuff.
Mm-mm.
They're going to open the checkbook.
Yeah, open that checkbook.
If Leach was alive, well, are we saying that Leach is? We're saying that Kevin Wilson's as good as Leach? Because I don't think so. And to be honest with you, I covered Texas Tech when Leach was there, guys.
God, that had to be.
He's fun, man. I love Coach. I love him, but the truth being all things being equal, I would tell you that Coach was, he's going to do things his way. He doesn't like running the ball, and everybody wants to see us run the ball. You're not going to see that with Coach Leach.
Mm-mm.
So even when he has even when he had really good running backs, it was rare that they used them very much, unless it was just passing the game. But
I just think that BB needs to get the best OC that money can buy. Put it out there on the table.
Yeah. Well, and I think more than anything, you may have to make it known now that it's over with. You know.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
mean,
I'm-
there's no more BS-ness anymore in the press conferences and all that. You know,
Mhm. Correct.
I mean, I can go back and probably re-quote you every Barry Switzer press conference back in the 70s and 80s, and by gosh, if there was something screwed up with one of his assistants, he'd call them out on it on his pressers
Facts.
or players.
You would. Listen, I mean, and I mean, there's people are, I think there's a line that you have to be careful with. I think in those days you could get away with that a little bit more. Right?
Oh yeah.
Today, in today's, I think you can hold them accountable, and I think most players want to be coached hard.
Yeah.
I think they do. Most of them want to be coached hard. The problem is that you have to. You have to know how. That's where making actual relationships and making that you're building actual relationships with these kids comes in, because you know how you have to treat certain kids.
Mm-hmm.
And Marcus Dent, Isaiah Autry Dent's dad, was talking about that on one of the shows that we had him on last week with Big Mike. He said that, and he didn't say who it was, but one of the big recruits that they had coming in was like, man. His mom was like, yeah, I don't think he can come here because he's not going to be able to handle. We've babied him, completely babied him. We don't, and he's not going to be able to handle the way that Coach Bedenbow is. Now,
Wow.
Marcus and Isaiah's mom are not that way. They wear his ass out themselves. He's told some pretty funny stories. Told me some pretty funny stories about that stuff. But I mean, they both played college football, and I mean, obviously Marcus played with Steve McNair at Alcorn State, and then his mother was, played for Pat Summitt and won national championships. I mean, there's just an athlete family right here that we're talking about. So, they're used to having that kind of going on.
I didn't see that, stat guy.
Saw something that in the post game, BV and Latrell seemed lifeless. Is that true or just trolling? Haven't found the post game to watch myself.
What do you mean as far as, let me see this. Saw something. BV and Latrell lifeless. Well, when you take an ass whipping like that, it's tough. I didn't watch Latrell yet. But he hasn't been great with his question answering. We're hearing some things that might be going on, but it's behind the scenes if it is. Bishop Frank, you there?
Right here.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, BV's resume: 6 wins, 10 wins, and maybe 5, 2 bowl losses, and not even make a bowl, 2 blowouts to Texas. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying. It's hard to argue it right now. I don't. What I would tell you is, I think that you have to take into consideration what this program was when he got here. The idea that he was left a full cupboard of players to deal with, particularly defensively, is silly.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think and I'm not saying that he hasn't made mistakes, because I think he has, and I think that he's still the learning curve part. He's got to learn to be a CEO more and take more of an active role in the offensive side. And I think he's obviously doing that at this point. But right now, if you've waited until it's gotten this bad, that's a problem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to look at it. There's a lot to it, man. But I don't know. I like to think that BV is going to get it done. But I know this, his legacy will it's going to depend on what he does right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have to make a home run hire here. I venture to say you need to do it pretty quick. If you lose all your, I mean, if this turns into not a top 15, 20 recruiting class, You think they're going to wait?
Mm-hmm.
Now they owe him a lot of money. His buyout's what, 40? I think
44 million.
24.
Yeah. So, I think that they don't want to fire him this year. They just re-upped him. So I think all things being equal, Joe C's not just going to dump him now. But a close game with somebody like Maine, or you get blown out. You don't go over there and beat Mizzou. You don't see any kind of improvement, and you're not seeing him make the move to, he said he's never been a part of a program that fires somebody in the middle of the season. I don't care. Sometimes it works.
Beat it first.
Right. So it is what it is. And I'm not even saying that, I get it. I know where he's at, but this is where I think that you have to show that culture of where you're saying, it's all about the player all the way around. It's about this team. You have to prove that here. You have to prove that.
Hey, Seth, I think he might do that. I think he might bring in a juggernaut OC and let him just bring in his guys. You're going to have to. If you get a big hire, a big name, he's going to bring in his people.
Mm-hmm.
I hate saying that.
The hope would be that if you're going to get the right guy, it's that you got him because he's going to do what works with you. But I'm not saying you have to change his offense or do anything like that. I'm saying you get the right guy, and yes, you let him do that. But up until this point, I think that this was the first time that Jeff Lebby ever called plays. He hadn't called plays as a coordinator before.
Mm-hmm.
And that he gave him complete autonomy. I've always thought that was a mistake.
Yeah.
I just have. And it's certainly a mistake now.
Yeah.
And I get what you're saying, Seth, but you know what? Here's the other thing. Do you know how many coaches are not able to do that? Look at Billy. Look at Billy in Florida, man. They've been talking to him about he needed to stop calling plays for a while. He refuses to do it. They're getting their ass kicked. He's about to get fired. That would be another person that I would say good coordinator, not such a great head coach. Good coordinator off options. He's actually
Stephen G. We're at rock bottom right now, brother. He's asking us if it can get any worse. We're at rock bottom on offense.
Yeah. I think and Kimberly K is right. Disappointed, yes. Lifeless, no. BV said he's in with the offense trying to figure things out. He hates these outcomes for his guys. He feels really bad for them. Yeah, I get it, man. And listen, man, I mean, if you can tell me that you hate Brent Venables, then I'll tell you you're not a real Oklahoma fan, because the dude just loves OU football. He held out for this job. Now, this is when we find out whether if he's meant to be a head coach or not, because it's time for him to continue to evolve and take that next step.
Yeah.
I think that I feel like there's something's happening that, and look, I don't even think it's all anybody's fault. I don't think it's all Seth Luttrell's fault. None of it is. There's a lot of shit that's happened that has conspired to make it this bad. Now, I think that they're behind the eight ball and they have no answers for it. So I don't think that you could keep them.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't sit here and tell you. I mean, Seth Luttrell's done a very good job at this before. I think that marrying the two offenses together was the wrong idea. That goes on Brent Venables. He wanted quote unquote continuity. Sometimes continuity isn't going to work very well because just be honest, Joe John wasn't qualified for the position.
No.
Right. And for that matter, I don't know that Seth, I mean, look, Seth is a air raid guy, and I'll say this again, the veer and shoot is a RPO based distant cousin. It's not the same shit.
Why would you try an onside kick?
Oh, Lord.
Who tried an onside kick? Georgia?
Georgia.
Swibbed it.
What the hell are you? You up 24-0.
He's trying to
23-0. What the hell are you doing?
Trying to go for the jugular.
Yeah, what was up with that fake punt today on our own 20?
Oh, don't
Skit,
get me started.
it's gonna be a long.
If you can't do the basic shit, what makes you think you can do some trick shit?
Yeah.
When that happened, I called Jason and I said the same thing. If you can't do the basic shit, what makes you think you're gonna do some trick shit?
Mhm.
Because you're desperate. So a team knows that. If you're down that far, they know on fourth downs, be prepared for the fake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to the, yeah. Who are you a fan of there, Key? This welcome to the SEC. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna say this, guys.
Get your laughs in now.
Enjoy it while you can, because if you think that Oklahoma is just gonna sit back and stay here, you don't know Oklahoma at all. What's up there? Hey, oh, that's the bomber right there. Big 12 Monster.
Yeah, what's up, Bomber?
Bomber Ground. What's up, my guy? Good to
Oh,
see you.
Bomber.
Andy Ludwig would be another good call. The Utah offensive coordinator. That's who coach wanted him to hire at Notre Dame. 2 years, and they almost did, but they didn't want to pay his buyout apparently. But yeah, he's
I didn't get taken to the woodshed over this comment in a Discord earlier today, but with the way things was going that game, I wouldn't have never went for it on fourth down. I would have took the 3 points, just get some kind of points.
Mhm.
What you think, Coach? It's hard to say.
What was the question again?
Well, are you talking about when they went forward inside their own 30?
Yeah.
Their own 30-yard line? Yeah,
It's like 4th and 8 or something, but
well, the problem wasn't even just that. I mean, it would have worked if you would have gotten the blocks out there. It almost seemed like they didn't hustle to make that one happen. I love the welcome to the SEC comments too from the programs not named Georgia or LSU or Bama. I love that shit. Yeah.
I think Iowa State going down tonight.
Wow.
Who are they playing, Coach?
They playing UCF. They're down 28-14.
Whoa. Did mediocre Mike get beat?
Who?
By BYU?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yes, he did. And actually, I'm gonna send that. I'm gonna send the link to Bomber here. Bomber, if you want to jump in, pop in here with us. We want to talk to you. I was actually so last night I was kind of trolling him because it looked like they were losing for damn sure, right?
That cow helped him.
Right? The damn cow.
The damn
cow. This shit was wild though. It's the way that I was pissed. I was like, man, your boys disappoint me. And then they just marched right down the field and scored. What, man, I loved it. I was and I was like, how do, of all people, why did
you bring yours
back?
How
do I be the one dude that misjudges the gag reflex of Mike Gundy? Of all
how did you miss it, Jason?
Yeah. Shit. My mom was like, oh, have faith. It's in your Twitter there, Nathan.
That's crazy, man. They got Ewers back in the damn ball game.
It's in there.
And Coach, I heard you say this when I first came in. Why in the hell don't we stay to running them damn edges?
I told Jason, someone needs to tell him that an older white guy and a younger black guy got a podcast, and we gave them an inside scoop on how to run on the 4.25. But I guess we don't make enough money.
Exactly.
It's basic stuff and everything, man, to run on a 4.25.
To run on it or to run, quick slants, you got to run quick game there. You can run stuff out of the backfield.
This is how much hair I lost today, guys.
Hey, you might as well go ahead and just shave the edges off, man. And just
Just get like me.
just go cue ball, huh?
Hey,
I'll put it to you this way, Bagman, about the BV and that stuff. I mean, here's what I would say. He's a new head coach, right? He knows what it's like to win national championships and others. I mean, look, he's still learning to be a head coach. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he's for sure going to make it. But I think that there's no reason why he shouldn't be able to. With the way he recruits and the way they play defense, you just have to put it together. Welcome into the show from the Big 12 Mafia, our friend Nathan Bomber Brown. Man, I was really pissed off at the Cougs last night, and then I realized that I misjudged the fact that mediocre Mike he's not even really pulling off mediocre, and his gag reflex is like few others. So,
look, I've had some health issues, as you guys know.
Mm-hmm.
And last night, I actually went to bed early. So I couldn't stay up. I had a headache and some things with my tongue. But anyway, so nobody told me. I woke up in the morning. Actually, it was about 1. I woke up.
Yeah.
And went to the video. And the fourth quarter played out about as I expected. I predicted, and I don't know if you guys saw this on my show and on Clint Foster's show, I predicted BYU would win by 3, maybe 4 points. I knew this was a bad game for them because in the past, especially last year, Ollie Gordon tore him up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's scary. Also, we were playing a backup quarterback that, again, is scary. Now you look at Iowa State tonight, and who are they playing? UCF, who can't beat anybody, but they run the ball down everybody's throat. So I actually think next week's going to be their most difficult game outside of the Holy War.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing about UCF is that it's a gimmicky offense, man. But and it's hard to prep for.
Yeah,
they give a lot of. I mean, look, they right after Oklahoma. I mean, after the Bedlam game last year, they won 48-0 over Oklahoma State.
Yeah,
almost cost them their shot at going to the playoff.
Well, and I would say this: Iowa State obviously is the other undefeated in the Big 12. Great defense, very good team, and Jay Hill is going to go to work and go to school, who's the defensive coordinator for BYU. He's going to go to school on this film that Iowa State's doing, and BYU's defense is very, very good as well. So I know this isn't a BYU. I know this wasn't a BYU show. I just wanted to catch up.
Hey, listen, with what's
we
going
need
on,
something to cheer about.
We're getting sick and tired of talking about Oklahoma.
Well, and you guys know I love Oklahoma. I absolutely have always loved Oklahoma. I've watched them in the 70s even, right? I'm an old guy. So to see Oklahoma down,
it's brutal.
Florida State, I'm a fan of Florida State. To have both these programs down really, really frustrates me.
Hey, Bomber, Jason told me, and me and the family's been saying prayers for you, brother.
Oh, thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it. It's it's been a trial for sure. In May, I got something on my tongue. We thought we snipped it off in August. Found out, no, not only did we not get it all, but there's other cancer going on. So they went to school on me. I'm chin to ear, whichever ear, right here. You can see it. I look like I've been gilled like a trout, right? Just rip that hook out.
They gutted you.
They did. But no cancer. At least today, there's no cancer.
Most important thing right there. That's
I appreciate
most important thing right there.
I appreciate all 3 of you and your prayers. Believe me, they went answered, and I fully appreciate them. In my life, prayer is a big deal, and I really, really appreciate it.
And Bomber, this is the first time I've got to see you on a podcast. Shout out to BYU, what they did for my Selman brothers tonight.
Oh, I'm glad they could. I'm very, very. I'm sorry. I'm not sure your name. They introduce you.
Sooner Legends podcast.
Oh,
Mike.
okay. All right.
Mike
Sooner Legend. I've seen it. We've never met, but it's good to see you. And then there's Coach over there.
Coach Riggs, man. Coaches talk. I try to do a little something.
I know.
Yeah, listen, and I tell you what, Bomber's channel has just been killing it too. But when we found out about that, we came directly in here. Coach and I talked about it for a couple of weeks, man. And I knew that we were definitely pulling for you there. And I'm just so glad that you're feeling better, man, and everything's going better. I know you're still tired and you're going through it, but you know,
that's what the podcast family does, is we look out for our own.
And that's absolutely true. And believe me, I heard from probably 200 people, special messages, prayers. So I know it's real. I mean, we all saw what happened with Golden Blue Dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
He went way too early, and I've been trying to mimic. You know, my shows are trying to mimic his success, and he was all heart and soul, and I try to do the same thing. I know you guys do as well.
Yeah, listen, GBD was a trip, man. And I watched him when I first started my channel. I learned a lot from him just by watching, right?
I did too.
He was definitely a different cat, but and it was weird because after after he passed away and stuff, and I didn't realize it was going to affect me the way it did, because I hadn't got to meet him. I'd talked in his chat and you know, kind of gone back and forth with him a little bit and stuff, and then I'd said something to him because he was giving Lincoln Riley a hard time quite a bit, and so I loved that shit. And then he had said something back to me, and we talked a little bit like through text messages and stuff like that, but I didn't realize, and that was only probably about a couple of weeks before he passed away.
Wow.
And so
I never talked to him, so
that was right before he passed away. But then his brother told me after that,
right,
that he had asked him to get a hold of me, or not. Who's the other guy?
Wow.
They wanted to have me on the show, and I was like blown away. I didn't even know he knew who I was.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So
well, that
he had a way of letting everybody feel like that, you know. And I mean, good for him. He was killing it too, by the way.
Yeah, he was
16,000 like right away.
I know, it was nuts.
And he just hard worker, man, just killed it. But
well, he was passionate, Jason.
You guys' channel has grown and grown so fast that I'll do such amazing work though.
Yeah, and I love watching Bomber and Immaculate and the guys, man. I get
a trip, right?
Yeah, well, but you know what I love about Bomber is, man, when it comes to the NIL portal, conference realignment, man, Bomber is the genius on this.
Oh boy,
no two ways around. Those guys, they know what's going on. They keep their fingers on the pulse of that stuff, and take a lot of shit for it. Take a lot of shit for it, though. But you know, it's what it is.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, I don't like doing realignment stuff anymore because I was over it.
If you ask me about the transfer portal, I say, okay, they enter the portal, they go to another team. And
that's right. That's right.
But Bomber just breaks it down into this 22-piece nugget, and you're sitting there going, damn.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it very, very much. And hey, let's quit talking about Oklahoma. Yeah. How about USC down, right?
Yes.
Lincoln Riley. Let's talk about that.
That was my therapy today.
If you're down, you want to make sure other guys are down, face down in the dirt, right?
Listen, and I don't know that he survives this thing.
I don't think so.
I think they hired his replacement last year. I think that's the reason that they brought in the guy from North Dakota State.
Yeah.
I don't know why I just forgot his name, but a great coach. He's done a lot of good things, and he's defensive minded. They're tougher, and they're a better football team than they were last year. Obviously,
they beat LSU. Who else have they beat?
Well, but they beat anything? I'll give you that much. But
I mean, and LSU's overrated. If you don't think LSU's overrated, I don't know what you're watching.
I think they are too. Oh, we've been saying that. But I think that LSU is definitely overrated. I would also tell you that still, you know, LSU had to kind of fall over themselves to screw that one up a little bit, just to be factual.
I picked LSU in the preseason.
Arkansas right now, by the way, 27-10 though.
Yeah, I picked LSU in the preseason. I thought they were going to be sort of what Tennessee has turned out to be. Yeah. But I think Tennessee's overrated too, and they just beat Alabama. And let's talk about another guy that's down, Kalen DeBoer. Does he last to the end of this season?
Oh man, yeah. I think they'd be crazy. I think that the fans in Tuscaloosa are nuts.
Yeah,
you know? It's kind of similar to the ones in Norman. But in the end, I think that their athletic director knows what the hell he's doing, and they're recruiting amazingly. I think that there's some changes that they'll probably have to make defensively. They got to figure it out. But of course, I mean, to be honest with you, though, they didn't give up a ton of points today. I mean, they lost 24-17. But that's a big win for Tennessee. That's two. Listen, I was just telling these guys, with Coach Venables, I think that he has to make his move quickly, because when you've got a coach and Coach Heupel, listen, he's an Oklahoma guy. He came in, beat Oklahoma in their house, and now that's 2 out of the last 3 years, and he almost got them in Tuscaloosa last year too. But he's beaten Alabama now 2 out of the last 3 years. What had they done before he got there? Nothing for 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Nothing. They lost 15 in a row to Alabama before he got there. 15 in a row. And believe that there are some alumni around Oklahoma that will make a push to get him. I guaranteed Tennessee fans are freaking out about it right now.
Yeah.
Well,
And they should be.
yeah, I don't think either team is elite. I think they both have major flaws. And the SEC is probably more bent. This is the weakest SEC as a group that we've seen in a decade or more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As a group.
Yeah,
Obviously, SEC's top, but
Yeah.
as a group, I think they're not what they were. Certainly not the last 5 years
No.
with Georgia's dominance and Alabama's dominance. So I don't know.
Right. I would tell you, Ryan Lemon,
I
Sark,
think that NIL killed that.
Sark
I agree with
knew-
you. It's all NIL and transfer portal. Those two things. You bet.
Mhm.
Yep.
No doubt. Ryman Lemon says, mark my word, I called this. Sark refused to take Bama directly after Saban. He wanted to be the first. He wanted the first person to fail hard so he could move in and be the hero, bring Bama back to the dynasty. I know that. Hey,
I don't
Sark
think
said
it's
on
Sark.
Sark said on his own show or on Keyshawn Johnson's show that they didn't even offer it to him.
Nope.
No.
Mhm.
Lane Kiffin is waiting for Kalen DeBoer to fall on his face.
Yeah.
It's Lane Kiffin's job to go.
I think that Sark knows that, and let's just be real. If you win at Texas, there's not a better place to have
You're
a job.
immortal. You're immortal.
Yeah,
if
you
win
are.
at Texas.
Yeah.
The money is endless. If you can get it going at Texas,
I would say that Texas has resources that Ohio State can't touch, Georgia can't touch, and Alabama can't touch. If Texas puts it all together and gets the SMU type money to do for NIL, Texas could go on a historic run in the next decade or so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, here's the thing. I think Sark has to prove that he can win on a consistent basis, because up until last year, he had never even won 10 games. So first, he's about to lose this one. This one could be the first of a couple. Look,
What is the score now?
23-8.
Yeah.
So they
23.
did score then. Okay.
They
They
cheated.
They cheated. Okay.
They called a
Okay.
terrible pass. They called a terrible pass interference.
Oh, okay.
Terrible pass interference.
All right.
Right.
So I missed the first part of the show. Are we at the point where we fire your head coach or not?
No. I'm saying get rid of the offensive coordinators, John Finley and Seth Luttrell.
Yeah, get
That
rid of
has-
the offensive
Okay.
coordinator.
That has to happen. That has
Okay.
to happen. But I think that he's playing with fire a little bit there. With because the people were calling for this last week, and you waited until. I mean, you didn't get it done or didn't. Honestly, it's been bad for a long time. It was bad during the early season when they're not going. I mean, you sent me a message on Twitter that time going, what's going on with them? The Houston game, right?
Yeah,
Well,
I
they
couldn't.
fucking
I
abused
did not. What was going on? I still speechless
They
for how
just-
that game was going.
Well, and a lot of people thought it was just Jackson Arnold or whatever. And then they went and look, Jackson definitely had his struggles. And before halftime of the Tennessee game, he had to come out.
Yeah.
And Hawkins, listen, I still think Hawkins is the better kid for the starting position. But when you go out there and turn the ball over 3 times in the first 5 minutes, it is what it is. You know,
Mhm.
it is what it is. They're going to pull you out. You're down 21-0. It's over before it ever really starts, and you're at home. And this is off of look. I don't care if Texas was number one or not. Losing to Texas in the Red River Shootout does not make anybody happy.
No.
So it compounded it a little bit when then you go out and lay an egg today, and it just doesn't seem like these guys. They tried to marry two systems together, the two OCs, and they're anybody who knows anything about the air raid and the veer and shoot, which is what they were running before with Jeff Lebby. They look similar. The veer and shoot is a distant RPO based cousin, but it's not the same, and they didn't get it right.
It's not the same at all.
And what's making me mad, Bomber, is we got life on defense, and we got an offense that can't get out of their own freaking way.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
true.
because they are unbelievably good on defense.
How much credit do you give to the SEC? You know, you're new to the conference. Obviously, you've done games against all these teams in history. But right now, the new SEC, do you guys feel like that's been a major change?
Yeah, well, they got a really tough schedule. Let's not get it twisted. And I'm not saying that the SEC is not good. They are. I think that when you look at this, if you had with the way that your defense is playing, because at some point you start having to overcompensate and you start trying to make plays that aren't in your wheelhouse there, the pressure that they're getting, the turnovers that they're causing, you don't have to be a top 10 offense. You just got to be serviceable.
Yeah.
You know, they've literally had they had one touchdown today.
Yeah.
One touchdown. And so that's 5 in the last 5 games.
Yep. 5
touchdowns in the last 5 games. It doesn't matter how good your defense is. Sooner or later, you're going to get in trouble. And today, when your offense turns it over inside plus territory, literally 3 times in the first 4 minutes, and 2 of them you got a scoop and score, and then you had a pick 6. It's 21-0 5 minutes in. You know?
Also, Jason,
that's ridiculous.
To add to that, also having your top 6 receivers out for almost the whole season.
Yeah,
that's a lot of it as well. I think you've had injuries.
That's you're pretty much, I hate to use this word, you're pretty much handicapped.
Yeah, but Coach, the only thing I would say about that is that when you're at Oklahoma, the kids that come in behind that are pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Well, they should be. They should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Offensive
Unless they're
line
not
was a
being
problem.
coached up, Jason, right? There is a chance that they're not getting coached up.
Oh, that's not
we don't.
It's a fact.
We don't have an action. We got a quarterback coach, but it looks like they're not being developed between Hawkins and
that's not.
Well,
and
they're
Jackson.
2 young quarterbacks. It's tough with that, but look, it doesn't take much to derail something like that. Whenever you've got not strong guys, you don't have 2 strong coordinators to kind of get it done. And when Dylan Gabriel left, you could say what you want about that. We would love. I mean, there's a lot of people.
What happened with that? That's probably the biggest question for the season.
Yeah.
Who screwed that up?
Well, he wasn't going to stay when Lebby left.
He wanted to be close to home.
He wasn't going to stay when Lebby left, and he didn't even.
Why is not close?
He didn't give Oklahoma an opportunity. They would have kept him in a heartbeat. I mean, and just for the record, BV said it over and over again that they'd love to have him back. He didn't care that he might lose Jackson Arnold. Didn't care.
Okay. Because that's the rumor. The rumor is they wanted to go with the young guy.
There's always
and said you could lose your job. So he said, "No, I'm taking the bag going to Oregon."
All year he was supposed to be going to the NFL. Now he didn't get the grade that he thought that he deserved.
Right.
Listen, Oregon's this pretty soft landing spot whenever they're felt like they were a veteran guy away from winning.
Right. Well,
and they got that Nike NIL
than Oklahoma did. And when you have the guy that won the Elite 11 and he was National High School Player of the Year his senior year, look, the skills are there.
Whoa. When
you lose your 5 top wide receivers, I don't know that Dylan would have done a whole lot better. I'll just say that too.
Right.
Because they've had a hard time getting open. The scheme has definitely changed. So I think that you would be better with Dylan than you have been right now, but I don't know how much better.
I think you get rid of the Sooner Schooner. You guys immediately start winning. That's
Wait,
what I think.
Why on that?
No, we don't get rid of the Sooner Schooner.
Sooner Schooner is bad luck. It was bad luck in the Orange Bowl in the 80s, and it's bad luck again. I'm telling you right now, from the outside looking in, your Sooner Schooner is what's sinking your program.
Oh,
you guys might win 4 games if you keep the Sooner Schooner.
Daddy dog.
Love you, Bomber.
I'm gonna have to clip that one. I'm gonna have to clip that one.
Yeah.
Clip that one and throw that out.
See, I'm an old man. I can remember that stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, we all remember it. If you're a Sooner fan, you damn sure remember it.
I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how that still happens.
Turnover of downs. Texas went for on 4th and 6, and they got turned away.
Iowa State's coming back, by the way.
27-21.
Yeah, 28.
Excuse
21.
me, 28-21.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
I tell you what, Iowa State is a monster.
Yeah, they're good.
They're a monster. I tell you what, I really like K-State a lot still. I know I watched that game with you guys, and I was surprised the way that BYU played in that one. I think that they kind of have it worked out really well. And I love you guys as running back. And I didn't think that Retzlaff was as good as he is.
He's played better. But today, last night,
a hard time, bro.
Well, that's because last night again, 2 interceptions. He falls into these, and I blame the offensive coordinator. To be honest, he lets him freelance a little bit too much. He still has too much control at the line of scrimmage. I would prefer he just stuck to the play call and then do everything in form. When he starts doing stuff off schedule, you get these interceptions. Just look, have you ever played quarterback before? So. Look, BYU's 7-0, right? And that doesn't happen in modern day football on an accident. So
no, they're really good, man. And they're
defense.
Sataki's one of the best coaches in the country. We've talked about this quite a bit. Anyway,
right.
I'm a fan of Kalani. Coach and I, when we went to Big 12 Media Days year before this, last year.
Yep.
And we came away going, whoa, because there was, to be honest with you, I thought that one of the better speakers had been Sark, and he happened to come on right after, I think, Kalani. But Kalani had all of us going, damn,
Yeah.
And I knew he was a good coach already, but
they were teammates. Sark and Kalani were teammates.
I remember that. And Sark was really good at BYU. Holy crap, he was really good.
Yeah, they were 1 win or 1 loss away from being in the championship game that year.
Yeah, they were really good. They were really good. But they play really good defense.
Yes.
That running back of yours, I love his patience and the way he finds it and then he's in it.
Yes.
He kind of reminds you a little bit of Le'Veon Bell a little bit.
He is. He's not quite as big as Le'Veon Bell, and he needs to bulk up, but he does have that step where you're like, he pauses, gone, right? Once he makes the decision, he's in the hole. He's not one of these guys that drags out the line.
He's definitely not
right.
We'd love to see that from the running backs at Oklahoma right now because they don't seem to, they're just running into the back of people sometimes too. Again, this is a tough season for Oklahoma fans, but I think that
tied up.
Sometimes you got to go through some stuff.
Bishop Frank always says, got to go through the fire.
Well, and think about BYU last year. They did not have a good season. They picked BYU in the Big 12 media to finish last.
Yeah.
Last out of the 16 teams. That was big. It's huge, man, what they did.
Tie game.
Yeah, it is. It's all tied up in Iowa State. Yep.
Who, Texas and Georgia?
No.
Hell no.
Iowa State, UCF.
No. Don't scare me like that.
Damn Texas.
Hey, all I'll say about BYU on that last night, and I sent that tweet, and I was like, I'm disappointed in your Cougs, man. And I was like, this is unacceptable. And because I've been the whole thing with the cow headbutting Gundy and all that crap.
Yeah.
It was just like this is not the one that there's no way they're gonna let this clown beat them. And never underestimate the gag reflex of Gundy. He's not even pulling off mediocrity anymore.
Nope,
Yeah,
he can't even mediocre anymore.
All I know is that when you play BYU at home at night,
Well,
I think now they are either 24 or 25-3
Dang.
after 8 p.m. Eastern time in the last 5 or 10 years.
Interception. God.
So yeah, that's it. That's tough, right?
passing
It's probably the toughest place to play in the Big 12 right now,
no doubt about it.
and it's got to be top 20 in the country. It's very, very difficult.
Interception.
You don't win night games at BYU very often if you're the away team. It just doesn't
Right.
happen.
Right.
I remember last year I was glad that BYU had kind of fallen a little bit because then they pushed it to the morning. I was like, whew, that's going to be an L if you have to play them at night. If
Right.
right.
Now
I went with a friend of mine from Vegas. Whenever I lived in Vegas, actually when I was a salesperson at the time, and my sales manager was a big Texas fan, and I went out there and watched BYU wax them.
Oh, you were at the Taysom Hill game? Which one? One or two?
I guess that was
twice.
It was the one in Provo.
Austin.
So I think that was
it was one in Provo. Okay.
Yeah. Great, but first of all, beautiful stadium. The backdrop is unbelievable. I mean, it just doesn't get much prettier than that.
Yep.
The stadium at Washington is pretty damn cool too.
It is.
Right there on
over
the lake like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I mean, I just remember thinking, and I was of course laughing at my boss or my buddy, about it, because I was like, I had to go, and I was like, ooh, it wasn't even close. Taysom beat the brakes off of him.
Hey, Texas fan. Hold on, guys. Texas fan throwing beer on the field.
I love it.
Yeah, they are.
They overturned almost a pick six, and now they're throwing beer cans on the. Oh man, they're throwing beer can and everything on the field.
So Iowa State missed their point after touchdown, so it was 28-27.
Shit.
Wow.
Come on, you got one job.
I know.
One job.
You got one job.
So let me ask you a question. Did you guys see the news out of Arizona State? They lost, and he blamed the kicker, Dillingham. Came out and blamed, and then he went on and said, "We're doing kicking tryouts on Monday. We need to improve." Yeah, and then later he thought about it. Somebody got in his ear, and he's like, "Wait a second, I'm blaming a team loss on a kid who's by himself."
Yeah.
How much sense does that make, right? So he apologized, but they're still doing tryouts on Monday.
They getting ready to throw people out of the stadium.
Kenny's crazy, man.
He's like 10 years old. Actually.
Yeah, they throwing cans and anything they can get hands on.
This is getting crazy.
They're coming out of the freaking stands.
Yeah,
what's going on?
Texas whole staff is going over to the fans and telling them to stop throwing shit on the field.
And they're still doing it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Stark's out there. Some people relax.
That's lack of class right there.
All because
let me tell you how shocked I am. Let me tell you how shocked I am.
Hold on, Jason. It was a bad call, but it was a makeup call for the touchdown that they gave Texas.
Right.
And that's all it was. It was a makeup call. And you can't put your hands on the receiver when the ball's in the air.
No, you're not supposed to.
You can't touch him.
Not supposed to.
And he pulled his jersey, and but the fans are going crazy, man.
I think PI this year has turned into what targeting was last year.
Well, he put
PI this year is
out of the way. That's not even a bad call.
No, Jason, but I'm saying slowing it down.
You knocked him off his route, though.
It's the right call. It's the right call, slowing it down. Yeah. When you speed it up, it was subjective. That's all I was saying. But to have your coaching staff come out there and tell you to stop throwing shit and you still throwing stuff.
That's not okay.
Gotta be Texas fans.
Iowa State has made UCF
too. So
Iowa State has made UCF one-dimensional, and that's going to cost them the game. So Iowa State's going to win that game.
Iowa State's got the best defense in the league too. I mean, the Big 12. Well, them and BYU's
yeah,
really good too. But I'm saying for by and large, for the last 10 years, Iowa State has had the best.
Sure,
defense.
and that's a longer run for no
Right.
doubt. Yeah.
Here's the
Matt
stat.
Matt's done a really good job. That was another team they had picked to finish last year,
Yep.
or them in West Virginia was last, but they were right behind them. I mean, Rocco Becht, unbelievable, good quarterback. They've got a great receiving core. I like
They
them.
overturned it.
Oh wow!
What? How
They
can you
overturned
overturn
what?
that?
You
The
can't
interception.
overturn a penalty.
You can't.
I've never seen a penalty
He
overturned.
knocked him off the route. I don't know how.
No,
you
they
make that
overturned the
call.
interception. How can you overturn?
Oh,
You call the penalty, and then
Okay.
you pull the penalty up
Wow.
and give him the interception.
Only
Home
Texas.
cooking.
Only
Home
Texas.
cooking.
well, you're in Austin, so
Look at
Yeah,
Kirby.
you're in
Kirby's
Austin.
now losing
Kirby
his
going
mind.
crazy. He's going crazy.
How do you knock him off his route
How can you
at
how can
10
you-
yards?
how can you call the penalty and then uphold it and then overturn it?
yeah,
There
I
was
don't
no
know.
wow. They trying to get Texas to go.
How is it a corrected call there, fight on Natties? You're just doing that because you hate
no.
Oklahoma at this point?
No, you cannot touch a
Why are you
receiver
even-
when the ball's in the air. Oh,
Another
Kirby-
question. Another
Yes.
question for SEC people
Yes,
in the
sir.
room.
Sorry, Legend.
Alabama has 2 losses. BYU's undefeated. Do they go above Alabama?
Yes.
Because I think they should, but I don't know if they will.
It's not the same old Alabama as it used to be.
It isn't, and they
it's a
look
different
really.
Alabama.
I agree. Yep.
So that scare last week when you almost let South Carolina beat you at home.
Yeah.
And then to have SC come out here and spank the hell out of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
It don't look good. It don't look good.
That's my thought exactly.
Now, I mean, who's to say when it's all said and done, they still might let Alabama in just because it's Alabama.
Right.
Well, there's going to be a 3-loss team that gets in anyway. There is. Because if you look at the Big 12 and the ACC, they're probably one of the teams that gets into the championship game is at worst going to have 2 losses. I think it's just happening that way, you know. Now, because if you look at, so K-State's already lost one, they still have to play
Iowa State.
Yep. Iowa State hadn't lost one yet, but I mean, you know, it's going to be tough to get through that conference. You guys, look, you did everything but lose that one last night, and that one was at home. So,
Right.
you know, you never know what's going to happen in the Holy War. I think you guys are going to beat the shit out of Utah because they're definitely not very good. But in a rivalry game, you never know. Touchdown Texas.
Right.
A rivalry game, you never really know. So I would tell you that a lot of football left to be played too. And there's some teams, like, as you were talking about, you know, you got to go up against UCF. It's hard to it is hard to shut them down. They're going to do some things that you're not used to seeing.
Yes.
And you have to be very sound, right? It is what it is. I think that I was saying this at the start of the season. I think you're going to probably have it. You might have 2-loss teams in the championship game. It's looking like you'll probably have at least one that's a 1-loss at this point. But you could have a 3-loss team in there with them too.
Yeah.
It just depends on how it works it out. If you end up with you're not getting 2 in unless you have no more than 2 losses. Probably.
I agree
if
with
there's
that.
a 3-loss SEC team or a 3-loss Big Ten team that they can put in instead, they're going to do it.
I agree. I agree with that. I think you're right.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm telling you that's what it's going to be, you know, because that's who's in charge now at this point.
Yeah.
Right.
11-2, 12-1 would be a best case scenario. Put some pressure, and there's still no guarantee.
Right. I think if whoever, if you say you had somebody go in undefeated into the game, maybe they lose that one.
Right.
They're playing against an 11-2 team or something like that.
Yes.
That's your best chance. Because I think the ACC or the Big 12 gets a second team in, not both, probably.
Yeah. Can we talk about another team that's overrated? Is Clemson, who hasn't beaten anybody since they got beat down by Georgia. Their best win is over, like, what is it? They haven't even played Louisville yet. They
No.
still have to play Pitt. So Clemson's the one that really sticks in my craw. Tennessee
Well,
and Clemson, I
they
think, are
definitely
both
have been
overrated.
better, but I mean, and they lost to Georgia. They
got destroyed by Georgia. They didn't.
They
just
hung with
lose.
Georgia for the better part of 3 quarters until then they got blown out.
Yeah,
I would tell you that defensively they can hang with anybody. I don't know that I trust that offense because they really haven't been, other than the Georgia game, they haven't really played anybody. So we'll see what happens with them. I still don't know that Dabo. I think he's dug his feet in so far but when you are they playing Miami? They're not playing Miami, are they?
No, they don't play Miami this year.
They don't play Miami until the ACC.
Yep.
They'd be in the ACC championship game. Do they get
so
Louisville?
No. Well, Miami, they're
Did
going to end up
Miami
playing
beat
Clemson.
Miami beat them.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, they did. Miami did beat Louisville. Yep. Clemson and Miami don't play. So if Miami gets in undefeated and Clemson goes in with 1 loss, and they lose, now you have a 2-loss Clemson. Do they drop below, a championship contender, Big 12, 11-2? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
I think it depends on how it works itself out. I think look, Clemson is going to probably get the benefit of the doubt because of they've been there before. I would think
history. Yeah, there's something to that.
But and I think that I don't know, man. I think it all depends. I mean, there's also history saying that they don't give a shit about an undefeated ACC team.
Absolutely.
So who's to say that they care about Clemson either?
Well, let's look at it this way: who's suing the ACC? Right? Florida and Clemson are both suing the ACC. Who owns the ACC?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
ESPN.
Yeah.
So we're talking about realignment and some of these other news items. Do not put that out of your minds. Florida State and Clemson are going to be punished. Maybe it's an 11-2 championship loss Clemson team that gets left out for a Big 12 that everybody loves ESPN.
Oh, good play.
Right? It could happen. And then there's conspiracies that are going to be everywhere about it.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Folks, we have had over 1,500 viewers in here at this moment.
Sweet.
You guys have been giving us a hard time. We only have 50 likes.
Oh, man, that sucks.
Come on now.
Everybody right now, hit the like button. Everybody right now, hit the like button.
Yeah, if you're going to come in here and talk your ish, hit the like.
Anybody who came over with me when I posted on Twitter, you better hit the like button. I'll hold you accountable.
You can hit the like button if you feel like it. As long as you are interacting with the stream, we appreciate it. Okay? Hit that like button. All right.
Hey, Sooner Cowboy, I'm just saying, I don't care who wins this game. I'm just saying Texas shouldn't have to cheat to win this ball game. You cannot overturn a penalty when they throw a flag and get a team the damn ball. Then they just say, no, it's your ball back.
Talking to Sooner Cowboys. He's just being that dude.
Did
today.
Texas State did Texas just score?
Yeah.
I gotta bring that game
up. Trolling, coach.
Yeah, he is.
I don't like
all right, guys. Well, we've been going for about 2 hours. I gotta get it out of here and get some food. I'm starving. I did the stream before this too. Hey, Bishop Frank, thank you for coming in as well and chatting with us and stuff. And obviously Bomber.
Absolutely.
So glad to see you again too, Bomber. And being back on the show.
Hey, stay healthy, my man. Yeah. Stay healthy.
I will. We'll keep at it.
Absolutely. I'll get a hold of you here. I'll get a hold of you tomorrow or something, man. And we'll chat.
Yeah, give me a call.
Okay, buddy.
All right.
Have a great
Thank you. I'm very grateful. I really appreciate it.
Take care, my man.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
See you guys later.
See you later, Mom.
Bye-bye.
Make sure you guys get over to Big 12 Mafia, the College Football Mafia. They've got a couple of channels. These guys are killing it. And if you are interested in what's going on with realignment, there's really only one place to go.
Fight on. I'm just saying you cannot call a penalty and give the team a first down and they get ready to go and the fans start throwing shit on the field. Then you say, oops, we're gonna overturn our call and give you the ball right back. You can't do that. Listen to what you're saying. And then if they're playing somewhere else, I wouldn't have a problem. But you playing in Texas, that's home cooking. I don't give a damn what you say. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly, Coach.
if it was in Oklahoma, I'd say the same thing. Don't cheat somebody to get the W.
That was trash. It was trash. They make the call and then they reversed it because they were getting messed with. Texas ain't gonna win the game, Sooner Cowboys. You just bust chops.
The momentum is on their side, but I mean, it's just that I don't like games that's like that.
We'll see what happens.
If you're gonna beat me. Don't bring the refs involved in it.
Yeah.
So hey, obviously Arch Manning has just got the job though, right? No more Quinn Ewers. What does that do to his draft status and all that?
No,
stuff?
Quinn's back in.
Is Quinn back in?
Yeah, he came back in.
Yeah, Quinn's back in, Coach.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Why would you? I mean, but Quinn came in and gave him a touchdown. So it's just that you can't. I'm watching the game. If the receiver comes down and rubs off his own guy, and then the other guy goes off him, that's a legal screen. But they didn't call that though.
You call it Texas magic? Not magic. Not magic. I wouldn't call it magic. I'll call it something. Texas horse shit or Bevo shit. You know, whatever you want to call it. All right. All right, guys.
All right. Well, I appreciate you.
Hey, thanks a lot for coming in. Again, make sure you guys get over. Hey, first off, we'll be on again Monday morning. I'll be with Big Mike Boganowski. He'll also be on Sooner Legends podcast in that afternoon with Bishop Frank. Amen. That show's getting better and better all the time. We love seeing you. Make sure you get over there, become a subscriber. We got to get Legend to that 1,000 mark. And hey, did we get over the 100 there at on Coach Rick's channel there, Coach? Did you hit the 100?
I haven't even checked, yellow man. Let me.
I've been putting Coach Rick's link to his channel on my comments. You know, and I'm trying to help you out, Coach.
Man, look, I appreciate it. I'll take all that.
Coach Ricks, man. He's definitely a member of this channel too, and I mean, we love having him on. Great, hey, Bishop Frank, you know, always great insight from you. I appreciate that as well.
Yeah,
and same with Coach Ricks and the Legend, man. I mean, there's going through a tough time right now as Oklahoma fans, but I'll tell you what, this is the thing. Sometimes you got to go through it in order to get on the other side. But make sure you guys get out there.
I'm at 98.
Turn my head and cough. You're right, Ryman Lehman. Not
more.
Not wrong.
I need two more.
Thanks for this therapy, though, guys. I needed this.
I
texted Jason and I said, "You're my therapy. You're my counselor."
I make sure to get that over there to him. Yeah, and just so we can do that before this happens.
The brand has finally returned. Your brand.
Oh, and Georgia's about to score. Georgia's about to score. If they get a 2 touchdown in here, it'd be good.
He hurt. He blew his knee. No, he did. Yeah,
Muhammad. That's Muhammad. Isn't it?
He blew his knee.
That's not good.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's not good at all.
Don't like seeing nobody go down, man. And when they grab their knee, that's a bad thing.
He just moved it. Maybe that's not what it is.
Is it a Georgia or a Texas player down?
Texas
guy. Whenever he got both hands over his face and he's in pain, that's a knee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's definitely hurting. Oh.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't like to see that. I don't like to see that.
Sure. One thing I don't like seeing. Uh-oh.
Me either.
All right, guys. We're going to go ahead and hit it. Appreciate everybody for coming. Hey, guys, we appreciate. We've had a lot of people on here tonight, and I appreciate everybody's comments and stuff in there, whether we agree on everything or not. I love having you guys come in and talk and interact with us. We'll continue doing more of these call-in shows because it's the easier way to do it, and maybe we'll get more participation that way. I appreciate everybody calling in, and definitely, hey, we'll be talking again. I don't know if we may do something tomorrow, but for sure, if not, make sure you are in here for Rise and Shine College Football at 10:15 Eastern Time. That's 9:15 Central on Monday morning with Mike Boganowski and myself. We'll be talking about a lot of this stuff as well. And then again, Sooner Legend podcast will be live in the afternoon. What time you do that at?
Usually around 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon Central Time.
Yeah, so make sure you guys, hey, if you get over there and you hit the bell button, the notifications, you'll always know whenever he goes live. So make sure you guys get over there and do that. It's always helpful. Appreciate everybody coming in. Hey, you know what? I just wanted to check real quick. We are actually at 39, I want to say 39.85 or so.
There you go. There you go.
We're 15 away. Oh, actually, we're 39.91. We are 9 away from 4,000.
There you go, bud.
All right.
If 9 of you are in here, and I'm sure right now we have about 50 folks in here, I'm sure at least 9 of you have not subscribed to the channel. Become a subscriber. Help us get to that 4,000 mark. We'd appreciate it. And make sure you hit that like button on the way out. And hey, we'll see you all on the next one.
All right, man. Y'all
Once
take care.
now, go Dogs tonight.
Go Dogs.
Face mask.